Sairam, one of the often asked questions is how do we connect to Swami, especially after his Mahasamadhi? The interesting thing is, even when Swami was physically present on earth, many devotees have directly asked Swami, how do we remain close to you? How do we remain connected to you? To connect to Swami, what we need is yearning for Swami. We need to pine and crave for him. Now, having said that, here are 5 techniques or 5 ways through which I connect to my Swami these days. And these techniques can be used anywhere, anytime, and by anyone. The first technique, and this is my favorite because it is the most pleasurable, is visualization. What you visualize, you materialize. Yad bhavam tad bhavati. As is the feeling, so is the result. As an example, I recently visited Kodaikanal. It was a beautiful experience going to Sai Shruti, seeing Swami's beautiful mandir where his presence is so strongly felt. It was amazing to go through the museum where all of Swami's objects have been beautifully preserved. And those flowers that Swami would so lovingly caress and hold and pose for photographs. My goodness, just go to Sai Shruti, you can feel Swami's living presence there. Today, I am not at Sai Shruti. And in my life, Swami has never taken me along with him to Kodaikanal. Yet, I am able to experience it because of the power of the mind. When we visualize, when we look at images of Swami in Kodaikanal, videos of Swami at Kodaikanal, I am able to build that scenario where I am walking with Swami in Kodaikanal, where I am holding his hand, talking with him, dining with him, sitting with him, having bhajans with him, sleeping with him. Dear brothers and sisters, let's use the powerful tool called the mind to visualize. If you would like to know more about this technique and the beautiful way in which Swami himself has guided us to use it, have a look at this link above. It's a complete detailed video on the same.
Among these techniques is Namasmarana. Personally, I consider Namasmarana as a maintenance technique. You see, people say that it is no use chanting the name of God mechanically without any feeling. But I personally feel that even chanting it mechanically has so much benefit. Let us at least do it mechanically. Sometimes what we do, we play a bhajan or we play this Namasmarana or some chanting on a cassette recorder or via our laptops and different players and then listen to it. I mean, as Swami would say, by chanting it 1008 times, possibly that device will attain connectivity with God. But we may not get it. That is why we keep chanting. And the greatest ideal for us is Hanuman. In the Sri Sathya Sai Vidyagiri Stadium, all gods are present there. There is Krishna, there is Buddha, there is Jesus, there is Zoroastra, there is Shiva. And when you look at all of these prophets and gods, they are at a level lower than Hanuman, who is at the top of the hill. Why did Swami give such a prime position to Hanuman? Swami wanted Hanuman to be there on top as an example for all the educational campuses students that surround the Vidyagiri Stadium. And Hanuman is an epitome of Namasmarana. It is said that when he plucked one hair from his hand, even that hair was saying Ram, Ram, Ram. And so, we keep chanting the name of the Lord, any name of the Lord. For me personally, I chant the Sai Gayatri. The Gayatri mantra is so potent and so powerful. So whether I am riding my bike or I am trying to get sleep at night or I just completed my lunch, whenever I remember, I just keep chanting Om Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahe Satya Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Bhurбhuvaः Swaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. The Gayatri mantra is extremely special and extremely powerful. If you would like to discover its magic and the miraculous properties that it possesses, don't miss watching this video. The power and grandeur of the Gayatri mantra as revealed by Swami himself.
The third method is the coin toss or any other variant of it. This is especially useful while making decisions. Apart from tossing a coin, we can also put chits, write 2 options or 3 options on different pieces of paper, fold them up, throw them in front of Bhagwan, pray and choose, and go ahead and do what comes there. There are many other variants of this method as well. When we do a coin toss or a chits toss, this works 2 ways. One is, even as the coin is in midair, your heart is craving or yearning for some result. You hope, let it be heads, or let it be tails. Through that, even without seeing what is the result of the toss, you know what your heart is yearning for or longing for. The heart is the seat of Bhagwan, and what the heart yearns for is what is Bhagwan's decision. But let's say we go ahead and look at the answer that comes as well. It helps us to cut away all other distractions and focus on the answer that has come, because we know it is from Swami. For those of you who wonder whether this really works, please do have a look at this link above for a wonderful experience and some explanations as to how to make this tossing technique work.
The fourth way through which I connect with my Swami is possibly one of the most common methods using which Swami connected to devotees and devotees connected to Swami. Yes, I am referring to writing letters. In his physical lifetime, Swami has written at least 10,000 letters to different devotees, maybe even more. And I am sure that millions and millions of letters have been written to him by devotees. In fact, if we look at any darshan video or darshan photographs, one of the most commonest things we observe with Swami are the letters that devotees have given him. We might think that those times Swami was physically there to receive the letters. What about now? Well, even when Swami was physically there to receive the letters, at any point in time, the number of letters that Swami accepted or received compared to the number of letters that devotees would be having in his presence in the darshan hall, well, it is a small fraction only. Hundreds and thousands and millions of letters have not been accepted by Swami. And yet, Swami would encourage the devotees to write letters. Because, dear brothers and sisters, from my personal experience, let me share that writing a letter is so beautiful for us. Swami does not need our letters. And we may ask, where do we send these letters? Place it in your own altar at home. Or just write it in a book as I do and let them remain in the book. There is one very beautiful experience and multiple insights that Swami has given as to why we should write letters to him. You can check that out in the link above.
And finally, the fifth technique is something that I use when I feel very worried or very fearful. This technique helps me to move away from the past, which brings worries, and move away from the future as well, which brings fears, and focus on the present only on Swami. Not surprisingly, this is also a gift from our Bhagwan. In a letter to a devotee many decades before, Swami wrote what has become very popular today as the prayer of surrender. This prayer of surrender is so powerful. Just reading those words, you will feel Swami in your heart. You will feel Swami sitting beside you and talking to you. And you will feel all your fears and worries evaporating into thin air. It is so beautiful. Either I read it or I listen to it. And it is so magical to listen to it and realize that this is Swami talking to us every day of our life, every moment of our life. Once again, if you want to listen to it while looking at some of Swami's beautiful pictures, click on this link above. It will take you to a prayer of surrender that Bhagwan has given us.
In conclusion, as I said in the beginning, more important than the technique is the yearning and intensity of pining. When that yearning and that pining is there, any technique that we adopt will work. Do share your thoughts. What are the techniques you use to connect with Swami? Do share them in the comments below. I am sure that many of us will benefit from reading them, and we will all grow together in this virtual satsang that I am sure will happen in the comment section. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.